Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Wharf, the completely unnecessary Star Trek podcast where we do unasked for audio commentaries of Star Trek episodes. My name is Sean.
My name is Matt.
I am Jake.
Philippe.
Erin.
And I am Minh.
I'm back, baby.
Good to have you back, Sean.
Did we hold for sound, or did we just talk about holding for sound?
We held.
We held.
We held for sound.
I don't remember that.
Stay with us, Matt.
All
Stay
right.
with us.
Matt's high.
We're smoking the good stuff tonight.
It was a minute and a half ago, and I have no recollection.
Short-term memory loss, not a symptom of pot use.
All
Matt is
right.
going to be totally stream of consciousness.
What are we starting today, guys?
Next generation.
That's
Trek,
right.
the
Next 3 years of our lives.
Don't say it like that, Philippe.
I love having a good reason to cancel other plans.
Yeah.
We got there, guys. We got there.
Yeah, you guys are so... What's with the grim faces? This is good.
Yeah, no, this is good.
This is the good part, guys. We've gotten to the good part.
You guys are all grumbling over there. This is the good stuff.
It was the 7 seasons.
It'll be worth it, man.
Yeah.
The 7
These
seasons
seasons
are
will
gonna,
fly by.
They're going to fly by.
Actually, the animated series did sort of fly by, yeah.
If that was the longest 22 episodes
really
of
was.
anything we've ever watched.
It really
ever.
was painful.
Yeah. I cannot remember 2 episodes.
Well, we're watching.
I was talking to these guys that I did their Star Trek podcast, and they're behind us, and they're just getting,
Nerdcast?
yeah, and they're all excited about watching the animated series.
Oh, my God.
For the same reasons that we were. We're just like, this is going to be something
different.
new and different that we haven't seen before, and none of us were really familiar with
Yep.
it, so we all felt like it was going to be a lot of
Exciting,
fun.
different.
And if you listen to the episode right before we started watching the animated series,
We were
we're super
excited.
into it. We're all really
Yep.
looking forward to it. And I listened to that episode and it just made me laugh like, oh, we poor naive summer child.
Yeah.
We didn't know
Yeah.
anything.
Although, you know, it's funny, the last episode that we did of the animated series, after episode 1 is our most listened to episode.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
The Russian bots.
So 2 people tuned in, huh?
Oh,
You know, that's
Dave.
hurtful.
That's hurtful.
Throwing shade at your own podcast, girl.
Rick, Jenny, she didn't mean it.
You've been here
We're
since
very
episode
grateful
12.
for
You
your
know,
support.
Yeah.
You put in the time.
you've put in the time.
You are foundational.
Yeah.
You know?
It's Encounter at Farpoint.
We're
Sean.
watching Star Trek: The Next Generation,
The font looks different.
Season 1,
Yeah.
Episode 1, Encounter at Farpoint. Part 1. This is a 2-part episode. So
Yeah,
we're,
it's one episode of Netflix, but it's 2.
Is that throw the count off?
It was a 2-part episode.
No,
when
we're going to do
they-
it as 2. Yeah.
2
We'll do it as 2.
episodes.
We'll do this. We'll do a part
We're
1
gonna
and
stop
part 2.
It's
midway.
gonna throw the
So-
We'll stop. So we'll stop about halfway through.
Yeah,
All
we
the
got
Excel
We'll
need to be
stop when the India's tandoori comes.
Yeah, sure.
we got an
That's it.
hour and 31 minutes and 12 seconds on the clock, and I will be punching the triangle in 3, 2, 1, punch.
Hi.
Yeah.
Now, this episode does not have a cold open,
Yeah, because it's the pilot. They just they,
so we're
Look at
going to
these
go right
graphics.
into the specs.
This look good for.
Yeah.
What
It's
year
not
was
the
this?
Encounter at
17
Farpoint,
or-
September 26, 1987.
Oh, 87. What happened in 87?
On the maiden mission of the USS Enterprise, parenthetical NCC 1701D,
Bringing the
an
D.
omnipotent being known as Q challenges the crew to discover the secret of a mysterious base
Q
in
comes
an
in?
advanced and civilized fashion.
Q comes in from the beginning?
yes, he's
Very
the first villain in the
episode.
very first episode.
I
It's
must not have
Erin.
ever seen this.
It surprised me, too.
What do you think the IMDb rating is? I want to ask 2 questions. I want to ask
You're
what
getting-
you think the IMDb rating of the show, the series as a whole is.
Okay.
Like from all 7
The
seasons?
entire series as a whole.
Ooh,
What do you think
series
the
rating.
rating of that is?
We should do that at the end.
Yeah.
You want to do that at the
Don't
end?
reveal it either.
The very
Or we could have
3
the
years from
beginning
now at
and
the
then
end
the
from
end
now.
lot.
In 4 or 5 years, I want to
two of
revisit
us
that.
understand.
Yeah.
All right.
We might want to put a reminder in our calendar.
I'm going to put it on my calendar now
Siri.
that in 2025 you can ask me that question.
Look
So
at
what do
these
you think?
names
The,
right now.
the
It's
episode.
Will Wheaton, everybody.
Will
Wheaton.
Wheaton.
Will
Hey,
Wheaton.
Look at that beautiful ship.
It looks so
It
good. It's
is
not-
gorgeous.
Oh, it is
It's
good.
Looks amazing on a big screen.
Oh
amazing.
my God.
I've never seen it projected large on a wall like this before. It
It
looks
does
great.
look good.
Yeah.
Aaron, what do you think? IMDb rating of this episode, written by DC Fontana.
Ooh.
From the old show.
Wow.
Still
She
around.
led the charge.
They brought a lot. Gene brought a lot of the original series people back
What a good
for this first
Zorn.
season.
There's a character named Zorn.
Yes.
What do you think the IMDb rating is?
Well, normally pilots are actually not necessarily
My father-in-law did the editing.
nice.
Really?
No.
No.
Come on. Oh,
Another Tom Banco.
another Banco.
Go ahead, Erin.
Just pilots aren't always like the best example of a series.
Keep in
Correct.
mind though that this doesn't matter at all.
Okay. Then I'm gonna say an 8 to say a number.
Anybody else?
I bet it's lower than that. I bet it's a 7-2.
Oh,
Oh, there he is.
Oh, look at that lighting.
Nice.
Hey, look at him.
I would give it 7.2 also.
He looks both young and old at the same
That's
time.
the magic
Yeah.
of Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
He's looked 50 from the time he was 20
Yeah.
till basically now.
Yeah. He looks the same, really.
Skirts are
He
short.
does. He has
And there's a guy
definitely
in a
looks
skirt.
older than he does here, but yeah,
Yes,
the bald head.
God.
Made him look older than he was.
I mean, nowadays,
How,
he just
let's
looks
let's do the IMDb question real quick.
Come on.
But first, how old do you
Yeah.
think Patrick
Tasha
Stewart
Yar.
is in this episode? Who wants to take a guess at how old Patrick Stewart was when they filmed this movie?
49.
I will say
51.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
You're all high. He was 46.
Oh,
Okay.
You all went over.
sorry.
Yeah, it is.
Really great.
It's
But he's fit, you can tell.
Yeah.
it's Poncherello.
Just tell us the answer to the IMDb question.
7. Flat
wow, that's
7.
low.
We were all high.
Okay.
Aaron,
Yes, we are.
how familiar are you with this version of Star Trek?
More than
I'm
any of
assuming-
the others.
yeah, that would
Because it was
have been my
on,
guess.
You know, I was watching a lot of TV. In
Sure.
1987.
Look at that.
Do you remember? Like, do you know who these people are?
I didn't really know their names, but I did watch it when it would come on. But I didn't really. I was
How
pretty
much-
young.
How much context do you want? Is why I'm asking the question.
As much as you're willing to give.
Oh, we can give you
I can
context.
give you a lot.
as much air
that's
as
great.
you
I
can.
don't know. I think that's great. I do have a question in general. Is more about how the series got rebooted.
Uh huh.
I'd like to know more about the revival of it. 'Cause
I
I
can-
do see names like Roddenberry and
Yeah.
just how was it the movies
This
that
the Fox network was just starting,
mm-hmm.
and they were going to put their sort of base on 3 things, and it was the Tracy Ullman show, which was a James Brooks show.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
Something else I don't remember, and Star Trek.
Wasn't the Simpsons on there? No, the Simpsons were bits
came
on
from
Tracy Ullman. Yeah. The Gary Shandling
Maybe
show
Married
was
with
on.
Children was the other one. I
Yeah,
can't
that probably
remember.
was it.
And then they were going to put Star Trek. Well, then Fox only wanted to make like 9 episodes,
I'm like, this wasn't on Fox.
and Roddenberry basically said, "I can't do that. I can't build all the sets and everything that needs to be done and only make 9 episodes. It doesn't make any
Mhm.
financial sense to me."
Yeah.
So then they passed, and then they went to NBC, which actually owns 10% of Star Trek,
Okay.
Okay.
and they didn't want to do it.
So it was CBS.
No, it ended up just being in syndication.
It was syndicated. It was
Oh,
a direct
okay.
to syndication,
Yep.
which is
Well, I remember it being on in the middle of the day in the
Yeah.
mid 80s. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't just a nighttime.
No, it was on at
they
real
aired it
time.
at night, but they also aired like
I
reruns.
definitely
earlier.
remember
What does
it
it
on
mean
during
when something is
daylight
direct to
hours.
syndication for those few people?
Ah, there he is.
Holy shit, never mind.
John
There's
Delancey.
Q.
Yeah.
Look at him like King Lear or something.
Jesus. I know.
Infiltrated the galaxy. Oh, he's going all Shakespeare. Wow.
So that I think is basically, that's how it got started.
Just going from the original Star Trek to maybe the movies, but coming to Next Generation now and seeing this is like such a refresh of the show.
yeah.
Yes.
Like, look at that. The seats are comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, the uniforms are so much cooler.
Yeah.
Well, it's got a little nipplage. Too much nipplage for me.
Not enough for me. But we've always.
But you notice, like, they've got
the outfits actually get a little better
Yeah.
in the seasons to come.
Counselor Troy is
Still
wearing the
working their
skirt.
shit out.
Wow.
She's wearing the skirt.
They also
But
have.
she doesn't wear it after this episode, for at least for a while.
I mean,
Every once in a while, in the background, you'll see a man wearing one of the
Yeah.
skirts.
There's
that's
one
what I
right,
just thought
almost
in the
right away
Yeah.
in this episode.
Okay.
They didn't want to like little like, hey, gender fluid.
Yeah, exactly. They were trying to be progressive and
I
be
like
like,
that.
Because you look
men,
like
men can wear unflattering skirts just as well as a woman can.
He had great thighs. He was fine. He was doing fine.
Patrick Stewart had Shakespeare training, didn't
Yes.
he?
Yes.
So do you think that they
Look at all
sort
those
of-
cigarettes in space.
Is that what those are? Okay, yeah.
okay.
Now I
Makes-
see it. Yeah,
makes
yeah, yeah.
sense.
Do you think that they made it a little more Shakespeare to cater to that?
Yes, I absolutely think so.
Interesting.
And as this series goes on, and they realize how lucky they were when they got Patrick Stewart on this show, they really start writing to Patrick Stewart's like strengths as an actor. He's basically just kind of a standard issue Starfleet guy in this episode. He has not become the warm, twinkly Picard that we will know and love later on. He's a real hard ass in this episode, actually.
He's very stiff in the first episode, but he still has, you know,
He's got the
Presence.
voice.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Well, that I was talking about. We talked about this on Inside Picard.
Well, he's great. I mean, I didn't mean that as a criticism.
no,
I mean, like,
yeah.
That's how they were writing the character in these early days.
That's where you really hear the difference for me, anyways, is in how old he's gotten. Is his voice?
Oh, it's changed.
Yeah, he just doesn't have the
He doesn't have
real
the lung power, the
gravitas of his voice back here.
He could really project.
This
Yeah.
guy can really chew the scenery. I
Yeah.
like this guy.
He's great.
John Delancey.
We'll see him. We'll see him off and on over the
Oh,
course.
good.
Of
Yeah,
this.
He's really doing it for me.
Yeah.
He's like,
They bring him.
He's-
They bring him
yeah.
back a lot.
He's a recurring villain
he's-
on this show.
Yeah, he's got a good villain face. He's like,
he's great.
super intense.
He's got a great performance.
Yeah, you always.
So,
like,
what questions can I answer for you, Erin? Like
whoa.
who these people are?
Yeah, he's doing it.
Do you want to know who these people are? Do you want to know how much further in the future it is from the last time we saw the guys?
Sure.
All of the above.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's what, 79 years in the future from the last time we saw Kirk and the gang?
So are they all dead?
No, because people live a long time in the future.
Hmm.
They're just old.
Yeah, because
Do they ever show up?
Original Spock comes in
You
one
just
of the
wait
new
and
movies.
see, baby.
Yep.
Wait and see.
Wait and
So in
see.
3 years, I'll have an answer.
You'll have an answer
No,
sooner than that.
Before the end of this episode.
Oh, I was going to say, is it going to be before the India's Tandoori comes?
It might be.
It might be.
Now, it might be in the second half, I think.
Yeah.
But so Picard has just taken over. That's Picard, right? Patrick Stewart is Picard.
Yeah.
That's Patrick Stewart. And
So
he's
who-
just taken over command of the ship. He's like brand new. And
They're
so that's Deanna Troy.
I like her.
She's half human, half betazoid. And betazoids are mind readers, telepaths. So she, because she's only half, she can't fully read minds, but she senses emotions. She's an empath. And she's the ship's counselor. So her job is to sort of like talk people about their feelings.
and you can tell it's like the late 80s. She's sitting right next to the captain,
Yep.
and
She gets to sit right next to him
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah. And she tells him what the aliens are feeling.
Yeah, she can sense what people are feeling.
Because normally
even through like space.
Yeah,
Like,
they're all the way through, like through the communicator.
yeah,
Like,
through the
she can just
communicator.
tell.
She's like, I sense their anger.
I just have to tell you guys, those of you who don't listen to our Inside Picard podcast, just last night we talked about the episode where we see Troy again, and we were talking about what a great job Marina Sirtis does
She's
in that
fantastic.
Also-
episode of Inside Picard.
but also Riker.
Yeah, Riker's great. He is
Yes.
great too, but she's particularly good, I thought. And it's just funny to see her, since we just talked about this yesterday.
Yeah.
It's just funny to see her back at the very beginning of the whole thing. And she's good right from the get go.
Yep.
She got a lot of shit. I think she's good on this show.
I think she's good too.
I like her hair.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, I love her hair.
She goes through a lot of hair changes.
Yeah.
Her hair is pretty much a
Another character.
well, it
Her and
just
Beverly
shows the time.
Beverly
like when they get into the 90s, her hair becomes very 90s.
Yeah.
You know, like she has a
It gets
Rachel
bigger.
haircut at one point.
Yeah.
in time.
Beverly has a lot of wigs. Like her hair changes a lot
Yeah.
over the course of the show.
The doctor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Uh-oh.
Cool. I like that.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
chasing them.
They tried to get away, but it's following them.
It symbolizes addiction to cigarettes.
They track you down.
Yeah, I see that now.
This
Yeah.
really makes a lot of sense.
You've got
so
your
the
finger.
pale guy in the yellow, in the gold.
We're talking about Data.
Yeah, Mr. Data. Okay.
All right.
That one we knew. That one we knew.
All right.
I'm just trying to cover all my bases.
Who's the guy with the head ridges? Who's the guy with head ridges?
I don't know his name, but I
Do
recognize
you know what he is?
Do you know what he is? Species wise?
Is he one I've heard of before?
Yes.
Yes. He's
Is
one of the
he-
biggies.
Plenty of
Is
time.
he a Klingon?
He is.
Yay!
Well done, Erin.
Just like John Larroquette.
Yeah.
Witness firsthand the education
Yeah.
fact that Warp had.
See? 2-3 years of continuous.
So his name is Mr. Wharf. He's a Klingon. He's the first Klingon in Starfleet. And it's a big deal because the Klingons and Starfleet were enemies for
Yeah.
centuries. In this version, now that we've jumped ahead in time,
They
we
worked
are
out
at a
some
place
shit.
where the Klingons and Starfleet are in the Federation are at peace.
But are we supposed to kind of not trust him a teensy bit?
Him? No, he's
It
great.
depends if you're racist or not. Inherently.
How racist are you?
Oops.
Yeah.
I will keep
in the
that to
movies, they
myself.
Yeah.
the Klingons are warring against
And
the.
the
Well,
chief.
they've got a treaty now.
Yeah.
Mm.
But they still.
But it's a big deal
Klingon-
that Worf is the first
Yeah.
Klingon ever to be in
The
Starfleet.
Klingon Empire is still not part of the Federation. They just no longer are at war with each other.
But let me ask, that's Tasha Yar in the back. Isn't she the security?
we
She
haven't
is.
gotten to her yet.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yes,
Okay.
that's
Are
who
we
that
talking
is.
about the chick from Some Kind of Wonderful?
Yeah.
What is?
That's
John
Denise.
Hughes.
That's Denise Crosby. That's her name in real life.
Okay.
She's Bing Crosby's granddaughter.
Wow, I
can
never
see it.
realized that.
Yeah, Hollywood royalty. Tasha Yar.
Wow.
You can see it.
The bruises?
Yeah.
Too soon?
Too soon.
You know, I mean, maybe, but it's not usually Grandpa.
I know, it's funnier.
It is
I don't
funny,
even know
though.
what you guys are talking about.
Bing
making
Crosby was
Bing Crosby
not a
was-
good person.
was
Oh, was he a
abusive.
bad person?
He was abusive to his,
you know.
or at least reportedly.
So the blonde lady with the short haircut is Tasha Yar, and she's the head of security. And she's got a sad backstory.
I was
that we'll learn
thinking
about.
of Mary Stuart Masterson.
There you
Yeah,
go.
she has an MSM look to her for
Yeah.
sure.
But isn't Worf the security officer?
Not yet.
Not
Oh,
yet.
yeah.
Not yet.
Tasha's the
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
So here we get our first glimpse of
Yeah!
leisurewear of the future.
Yes! Rocket!
This is what I've been waiting for. The leisurewear of the future is some of the most insane
Oh,
costuming.
here we
and
go.
It never gets better.
Here's a new thing, Erin.
Oh, yeah.
The
They do
the
this in episode 1?
and never
never
do it
again.
again. Never again.
Hardly ever do they do it
The
again.
ship splits into two.
They do it like at season, like big episodes
They-
in the
you
future.
notice how now they're on this and it looks different.
It's a different. They have a war
they have a
bridge.
second
It
bridge.
doesn't. She doesn't.
The battle
care.
bridge.
I know.
Why are you telling her about the battle bridge?
The battle bridge. But anyway, so
Thank you. I was like,
no,
what's
no, no.
happening?
But they
Why
needed
do
to
I
come
care?
up. Okay, they needed to come.
We
up
were
with
talking about the clothes, you guys.
Yeah, I know. I know, but
I
they,
like-
Wait till you get a look at these clothes.
But you knew this
Erin.
I
is a
like
big-
how they were moving fast.
this is
in
a
that
new.
space
This
and
is a big
skirts.
selling point, I think, for the science
Oh, it
fiction
was
guy.
sold.
Yeah.
Like the ship splits in two.
It's like when Knight Rider dumps over something.
About
or-
half the budget of this episode went into this effects
Yeah,
sequence.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Do you know
Okay.
Roddenberry had a dream about this, and he was like, "I need to make it." So
What if the ship could just? What if the ship could just split in half?
God.
What if it's
That's
separated?
a feature.
Yep.
Yeah, they're doing that on purpose.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right?
It does look a little weird though when the two parts are
Well, that's
separated.
why they didn't do it ever again. I don't think.
And they do it.
Plus, they would have just had to keep reusing.
They
Well,
definitely.
they would have.
They do it again, and
They do it again, but it's rare.
It's not very often.
Maybe the empath was like, "This is making people feel weird."
People don't like this. I sense discomfort.
Yeah, look,
I
you
sense
see
our
the look on
ratings.
her face
I
was
sense
worried.
people are switching the channel.
Aaron, I'm just going to tell you now. Troy is constantly saying shit like, I sense that they are not being entirely truthful with us, Captain.
Yeah.
Like, that's 90% of her. And she has a weird accent. That's why I did it that way.
Is she like Greek or something?
She's British in real life, but she has some sort of weird I'm an alien accent that's like a mix.
Betazoid.
It's a mix of British and like Eastern European
Look at that.
or something.
Weird.
Yeah, it looks weird when the saucer section's not on there because you're so used to seeing it the other way. But.
So now you've met the main characters that we've been introduced to so far.
Oh, and there's Chief O'Brien.
There's Chief O'Brien, but he's not Chief O'Brien yet because his name in this episode, they don't even give him a name. They just call him Khan for like Khan, station.
Yeah,
not Khan like
Genghis.
Khan. No, not that Khan.
Not Wrath of.
But yeah, there's good old Miles. He in the pilot. You think about if you start with the pilot and end with the last episode of Deep Space Nine.
You were on.
He was on Star Trek for 14 years.
That's awesome.
Or however many.
Yeah.
There's an overlap
Whatever
there,
it is.
but it's
10, 12, 14
There
years.
was
It's a
like
long time to be playing
one guy.
on Star Trek.
he was the
And
guy.
he was a pretty famous actor when he did this.
Yeah.
Like Cole Meany was already famous.
He's
at this
in
point.
all those Irish gangster movies.
Yeah.
He's in The Limey. He's in
I never really completely.
he always plays like a tough guy.
I can never completely warmed up to him in the show.
Really? You don't like Chief O'Brien?
You didn't watch
No, I
DS9.
agree.
That's why.
I didn't like when they were the when he had there were episodes
one's
centered
O'Brien?
around him as
the
much.
guy,
Curly hair.
Curly-haired guy.
Yeah. And
I'm
he's
the ginger.
You should recognize him. He's pretty famous.
I just
Irish
haven't
actor.
laid.
he has
eyes
an
on him.
insane. It's his real accent, but he's got an Irish accent. Which is just funny because think of how many times we've talked about like how much Gene Roddenberry hated
Yeah, the
Irish.
Irish.
and
Yeah, I
always,
was gonna say.
always portrayed them as drunken buffoons.
Yeah, exactly. Complete stereotype. So he gets the most Irishy Irish guy.
Except Miles is like a rock
Oh, yeah,
solid.
I've seen him before.
He's rock solid though. He's not any of those Irish.
No,
Yeah,
he's awesome.
He's not a womanizer or a drunk.
No, he's
No,
like
Chief
happily
O'Brien
married.
On the
He's
show.
awesome. No.
Sorry.
He gets him. He's much more important because he's a main character
Yeah.
on Deep Space Nine. On
Yeah.
this show, he's more. Every once in a
Yeah,
while,
he's-
there would be an episode with Miles.
But it's always the engineer keeping the ship together,
Well, he's
trying
not
to
a-
give the
he's not-
captain
He's
more
not an
power.
engineer. He doesn't
Well,
become an engineer
sure.
until DS9.
On this show, he runs the
he's
transporter.
the transporter chief.
He's the beam me up.
Now look at some of the costuming coming up here.
All right. This is to represent like like the world's like dark age kind of like
Exactly. This
Yeah.
is post World War III.
Yeah.
Savage Earth.
Mad
where
Max.
the Earth has fallen into sort of a Mad Maxian dystopia.
Yeah, before like
There's a lot of
the warp drive
There's a
is
lot
discovered.
of little people actors
people.
in this scene.
I think they prefer different nomenclature.
This is like right after the
I thought
coronavirus.
I thought
really
that was
takes
what we were
hold.
doing now was little people.
Oh, I'm.
What are we
okay.
not? What do you think it is?
No, I'm not going to say anything because I'll be wrong.
I thought that was the appropriate
why
one.
the
If
names
I'm
have
wrong, I
changed.
apologize.
No.
But I
You
think
might
that's
be
The
very
M word is wrong,
Ooh.
but I think dwarves are okay. I don't know. I'm
So they've been transported into their past, our future, Erin, post World War III. This is post Trump, is what this is. This is what we'll all
This
be
is
living.
what we have to look
This is what
forward
we all
to.
be living.
2021 right here, guys.
They all- whoa.
But did they get their Indian? Oh,
I don't know. I like how they've gotten back to like
I know.
Everybody's gone back to
Mongols.
classic,
They all look
It's
like
like-
Mongols.
classic barbarian
They look like-
outfit.
they look like the poor in a Dickensian novel. You know?
I
They're
know.
sort
It's
of
like,
like
they got all Oliver Twist
governor.
meets the Salem witch trials.
You know.
with a touch of
Yeah.
RoboCop.
con.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody
Here comes the judge.
I like how girthy everybody in that armor looks. It's like
Yeah,
It
it's not
hides a lot of
flattering.
flaws.
yeah, it
Yeah.
does. I want to get that back. That was a really forgiving stormtrooper kind of
We should
costume.
cosplay as those guys.
We may actually be on the slender side.
I'm not going to be able to fit. I'm not going to be able to fit into my stormtrooper costume.
Yeah.
But I might be able to be.
Yeah.
I might be able to be one of these mean future.
What Bjork?
guards.
What Bjork video is this?
Star Trek: The Cruise is going on right now. Speaking of cosplaying,
Uh-oh.
I've been seeing a lot of posts on Twitter of all the fun activities happening on Star Trek: The Cruise. They had their big cosplay contest, like their costume contest, last night on the cruise. So there was a lot of pictures.
Was there some
of people
Twitter pictures of
dressed up
winners?
in all different kinds of like the most obscure characters.
Wall
Somebody was
gecko.
dressed as Q. That's what made me
Oh.
think of it. Is in that outfit, that version of Q.
I mean, if we really
His name is Q, by the way.
Got it.
Aaron.
could
Like the
Data,
letter?
if he decided
Yes,
to,
like the letter.
could Data kill everybody here?
Oh, damn, girl. She is going to
So
town.
this is how
on
you
this
know
card.
that
That
Tasha
was-
is a badass.
Yeah, that was a.
Did you
stunt.
notice the stunt double in the wide shot?
Oh my
it was
God.
pretty obvious.
Yeah, it was like an old.
A Star Trek classic Star Trek tradition. Terrible stunt work in the
Yeah.
wide shots.
yeah,
Returns in the next generation.
The stunt work is fine. It's the person they've cast as the stuntman has no resemblance whatsoever to the actual
Correct.
person.
That would have cost too much.
Yeah,
Look how much they blew on his costume.
but in case like MSM wasn't available, who else would do the stunt work? So
I think they just got like graduation regalia from some university that's colors are red and black.
I think
But
I think he looks great.
I do too. He looks like a.
This episode was very expensive for the time.
Yeah.
Like they spent a lot of money on this show.
Yeah. What I like is you can't tell.
And it was successful right from the start. Like it was popular almost immediately.
Well,
And that first season,
I don't
didn't
know
kill
how
it.
how it was for everybody else, but the lead-in for this show was the Cosby show where I was from. So
Uh-huh.
it was like
Because
it was a
because the
nice
show was
escape.
because Star Trek: The Next Generation was syndicated, it didn't air on the same time everywhere.
yeah.
So,
But which station did it air on? Or-
it was
UPN.
like the local, like
Well,
one
it
of your
wasn't
local
UPN yet.
stations. Because syndication is when you
It
sell
was
a
on
show.
Channel 13 where we
Right.
were from. but-
Yeah, syndication is when you sell a
What's
show
that?
to
KCOP.
local television stations
Yeah.
instead of to a network.
Oh yeah,
like
it was on like
NBC or whatever.
PBS. They show it on.
PBS?
In Fresno, it was on Channel 13,
That's what we had it on.
which later became the UPN station.
That's what we
This
had.
is before the UPN.
I think
existed.
sometimes this was on public TV.
what?
I used to watch it.
It is
see,
culturally
Here's what I'm
relevant.
remembering. I'm remembering it's 1987-ish
Sure.
or 8.
Go back in
All
time.
right. You
I
want
had
to
a
know what
TV.
else you could be watching?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, wow.
Wait, I want to hear the end of Aaron. I want to hear the rest
Okay.
of that story.
Oh, I can remember when I had, X number of channels on the knob because we didn't have cable versus like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I
for
only
sure.
had a few options and I remember this coming on sometimes
Carbonite phrasing.
on public TV, PBS.
Wow.
It's wholly possible.
I don't want to doubt your memory, but it's
But it may
more
be
likely
wrong.
that it was on the channel right next to PBS, which would have been like the local
Yeah.
independently owned station, Channel 53 or something like that.
Okay.
Is that possible?
We didn't have that many channels. That's what I'm saying.
She's got a pretty good memory.
You could be right.
She remembers this fight that I don't even know we had. But then again, it was.
Oh yeah, talk to me about what was on TV in 1987, and then I'll tell you about
All
the
right.
fight we had last night.
So on NBC, because we don't really know what time the show was on. So
Because it could have been on any
Is
Do
time.
you remember when it was on in your when you were kids? What night it was? I think in Fresno, I want to say it was on Saturday nights,
it was
which
on
makes
Saturdays.
sense for a show.
It was
that
on
is,
Saturdays.
sort of
Yeah.
oriented to nerds and introverts
Yeah.
and children,
People.
people who don't have anything else to do on Saturday night.
Yeah.
The NBC lineup was Facts of Life,
Uh-huh.
227,
Yeah.
Solid.
The Golden Girls,
Oh, shit.
Wow.
and a show called JJ Starbuck.
I don't
Well,
know.
it falls apart right at the end, but those first three are.
Yeah,
pretty-
pretty good.
I mean,
And
that's
that
a
was-
pretty rock
that
solid
was a
lineup.
Saturday lineup.
What was
This is
227?
Saturday Night
Yeah,
lineup.
I remember Golden.
That
Girls
was
being
the
on
African American apartment building.
Oh,
with
yeah,
Jack
Marla
Marla
Jackie.
Gibbs was the star of it, right?
Yeah.
From
Jack A.
Jeffersons. And
Yeah.
Jack A.
That's a Norman.
on Fox, because now
maybe.
Fox is a channel.
Might have been.
She's from the Jeffersons.
Yeah,
Who?
Marla Gibbs was on the Jeffersons.
Yeah, it's a spin-off.
He's
It's a
wondering
spin-off,
if
yeah.
227
It wasn't a
was
spin-off.
It's
She
not a
was a
spin-off
different
because she's
character.
not playing the same
Oh,
character.
I thought it was.
Oh.
No. It's a different character. Werewolf.
Werewolf?
Yep.
Werewolf?
Werewolf.
It was a half-hour show.
Say Will.
Will.
Say Wheaton.
Wheaton.
Say Will Wheaton.
Wheaton. Say wolf.
The new
Werewolf.
Okay, the other day, I just have to tell this story real quick. The other day, we were over at Anna's house, our friend Anna, and she was playing. I'm not even a Family Guy fan, but she was playing this thing on YouTube of all of the times that they've done that joke about Will Wheaton. So it's like a 5-minute YouTube clip of all the times they've done that exact same joke.
They've gone to that one.
And every time he goes, Will Wheaton, it just made me laugh. It's such a stupid joke. It's not even a joke,
I know.
but it just really made me laugh.
Amusing.
Anyway, sorry. Go on. Whoever was talking last.
Werewolf was on Fox.
WOOF.
Yeah.
Okay.
Werewolf.
No, WOLF?
Or WOLF.
Okay, I thought there was 2 O's in there. I thought it was like
Not werewolf.
like a dog that became
wolf.
What is the right answer?
wolf?
LOLF.
Okay, well, that is not what you have been saying
Yeah.
for the last minute and a half.
Say where?
You have been saying werewolf.
It's like the Who Mourns for Adonai thing all over again. I'm getting.
I swear to God, go back and listen to the tape.
Moving on. The new adventures of Beans Baxter.
Beans.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I prefer Mr. Bean.
Second Chance and Duet.
Huh.
I don't remember any of those.
On CBS, there was a TV movie, I assume, of Gunsmoke
All right.
and Jake and the Fat Man.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember
And then on
that show's gimmick was, what if one of them is skinny and the
one of
other
them
one is morbidly obese and they solve crime?
I know. They didn't call it
That's Abbott
Al and
and
the
Costello.
skinny guy.
Yeah, they call him the Fat Man.
It's a good
in
name.
The title.
It holds.
It is a good.
That is inappropriate. You
Yeah.
couldn't do that nowadays, and rightly so.
Yeah.
And on ABC, something called Once a Hero.
Do you remember who the Fat Man was?
Hey,
Anybody?
Can you pause.
I
Send
thought
Philippe.
it was here.
Send Philippe.
How? What? Where are we in time?
Not that long.
Well, he can bring the
We
food.
just
He
started.
has to meet the man, so
Just-
we can keep talking.
I mean,
He's seen this.
we needed a break anyway from him.
Right?
This is gonna be good for. a
What
little
else? Anything
And
else?
then
They'll need a break.
after Once
William
a Hero,
Conrad was the Fat Man.
Splash. You're going to be watching
Oh,
Splash.
the movie?
Yep,
Wow, that's a good movie.
That is a good movie.
Wait,
Tom
that was on.
that was on.
Oh,
On
That was like
ABC.
the. It must have been like
Saturday
the
night
network.
movie.
Oh, technical issues.
Hello, Warped listeners. What you just heard was Erin tripping over a bunch of cables. Don't worry, I'm sure she's just fine. While we get everything plugged back in, why don't you take a moment to send us what you think about our commentary of Star Trek The Next Generation so far? You can reach us at warpedthepodcast@gmail.com. If you're following along at home, no need to pause playback. Through the miracle of editing, the show will remain completely synced, more or less. And now, back to the show.
I think we really need to.
So who are these people?
Q is this all-powerful being,
Yeah.
Erin,
Okay.
and he has decided, for reasons that are not yet known, to put humanity on trial for being sort of small-minded and
cruel and
savage.
All our sins of history.
And so he's holding this trial and putting Picard and the rest of the crew on trial
As
for
proxy.
the crimes of humanity. as
And where's
proxy.
the trial taking place?
in this weird future place that is their past but our future.
yeah, all fabricated.
Post World
It's a
War
place
III.
that's entirely fabricated.
Yeah, he
by-
has like he's
has, like-
literally like a god. He has godlike powers, so he can just immediately take them anywhere
Okay, I was
and
just like,
do anything.
how are the logistics of him rolling up?
He
in that
literally
big
like
ass
snaps his
chair?
fingers
Yeah.
and
He's the dungeon
and
master.
stuff just happens.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's an extra
That
dimensional
keeps
being
things
that lives in
spicy, I
the,
get it.
He lives in the Q continuum.
It's a classic Star Trek setup. This is a very Star Trek-y episode of Star Trek, which is
Yes.
what you would expect from something that Gene Roddenberry and DC Fontana co-wrote. It's a very Star Trek-y episode. It has a great theme. It has a moral, but it's also very Star Trek-y in the sense that it's about meeting an
here we go.
all-powerful.
Riker.
It's about meeting an
Oh, that's
all-powerful being
Riker is
that
not
puts
on
humanity on trial, which is a classic Gene Roddenberry.
Oh, Cloris Leachman
plotline.
is in this episode.
There's Cloris
Yeah.
There
doing
he
double
is.
duty here
There he
and on the
is.
Facts of Life this week.
Commander Riker.
Yeah.
So there's Jonathan Frakes
Yeah.
playing he's going to be the second in command on the ship. He's Riker's
he kind of has a Shatner look to him.
He is the Kirk of this show.
Yeah.
Even so much so that his name is Riker, which is basically just the letters in Kirk rearranged.
That's true.
Yeah.
Great. He's a good looking
He
guy.
looks like a
And he's
Will
sort of
Wheaton
he is the Kirk in the sense that he's the one who has the sort of like
Bolder.
Lothario,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I'm a lover of women and a fighter of
Yeah.
men kind
Yeah.
of vibe. Because Picard is more, because Patrick Stewart is playing this character, Picard is more like cerebral
Yeah.
and more of a diplomat and more of like, let's sit down and talk about what the right options are.
Okay.
Riker's
More
plays the part of the
bold.
action
Yeah.
hero
bold
role.
Yeah.
So
He's
because you need somebody who can do the fighting and stuff, and it's not that Patrick Stewart doesn't do that. I mean, he was only 46, but he's more of he's not the actiony romance lover character. That's Riker.
How old is Jonathan Frakes in this?
Late 20s, early 30s, probably. I don't know for sure. I can
He
look
looks,
it up.
yeah, he looks really young with that.
I'll correction
when
corner it in a
because
year.
he's clean shaven. Later episodes, he gets the beard and
He would have been
Yeah, right.
35.
Yeah.
look good for that. Jesus.
He was on a
looks super
soap.
young.
Aaron, I don't know which soap he was on, but he was on a soap. And he's married to a famous soap opera actress named Jeannie Francis.
Oh yeah.
Still?
Yeah, they've been married for 40-some years, I think.
Congratulations.
Jesus.
Frakes.
Yeah, he grows. He doesn't get the beard until season 2.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Check out the fashions.
Oh,
Just
my
check
God.
out.
Oh,
There's
my God.
Wesley
Will
Crusher.
There's
Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
Yeah, Jonathan Frakes looks like an older Will Wheaton.
Jesus.
Will Wheaton.
He looks.
Wow,
he's
that
so,
sweater
you know
is
why he grew the
ridiculous.
beard.
Yeah.
Is that a
Yeah.
big?
They put
He's got that.
they put Wesley. That character's name is Wesley. They put him in the worst
yeah.
outfits
Yeah.
maybe ever in
Yeah.
Star Trek history,
Yeah.
which is saying
know.
something.
Yeah.
Wait, look at that.
Yeah, backlist
In the
there.
background.
Future.
Yeah.
So that woman in the red hair, with the red hair, that's Dr. Beverly Crusher. She's the chief medical officer on the ship,
and they're here.
and Wesley is her son.
Yeah. And they're waiting to get assigned to the
Is this
Enterprise.
useful or information?
No,
or
yeah,
not?
yeah, yeah.
And, and one of the big things about this is like the old Enterprise. You never saw kids
Yeah.
on the old
Right.
show.
The Federation has determined that it's healthier, like for mental, and emotional stability, to have families, so that people aren't separated. If one person is in Starfleet and the other one isn't.
It's very progressive.
So now they have families on the ship, which we will find out later. Picard is not thrilled about because Picard does not get along with children.
Yeah.
That dude is creepy.
I'd take that as a count against him.
Are you?
It's something for him to learn to like grow.
And
out.
Beverly and Jean-Luc know each other
Do they have a history? Right?
They
do.
Yeah.
because her husband served under Picard on another ship before the Enterprise, and her husband died while Jean-Luc was in command. So Jean-Luc was the one who went and told her that her husband had died because he was the captain. That's the story that Beverly just told Will right then. So they know him from way back.
Hey.
There's LeVar Burton,
Yeah, I used to wear a banana clip on my face.
Roots,
Be this
and
guy.
Reading Rainbow, and
Just
Star Trek: The
emulate
Next Generation.
Geordi?
Geordi LaForge.
His name is Geordi LaForge. He's blind, Aaron, and the reason he has that stuff is that's his like bio, like he's like a bionic, eyes.
I thought it was that he was blind, so he didn't know there was a banana clip on his face.
This looks good, right?
Yeah. Yo, that's perfect.
Cool. All right, great.
Yeah. Everybody's doing this, you say? Yes.
Gene Roddenberry met a fan at a convention.
Mistake.
Whose name was, I don't remember if his name was Geordi LaForge or if his name was just Geordi, but Gene met this fan at a convention who was disabled, who was in a wheelchair, and the fan asked Gene, why don't you ever have any disabled people in Starfleet? So Gene created the character of blind Geordi LaForge.
That's awesome.
In honor of this fan who had asked
what
him.
Gene actually says, they fixed all that shit in the future, but then he was like, all right, here's what I'm gonna do. And they fan was
the
like,
Gene explanation for why Picard is bald. Somebody asked him, why haven't they cured baldness in the future? He said, in the future, nobody cares about baldness.
Yeah.
Plus, don't you think Patrick Stewart would be less interesting with hair?
110%.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dude, he's got an amazing
He has
head.
an amazing head.
I know.
That man was meant to be bald. Like, he couldn't go bald soon enough.
I know.
He should have gone bald at 10.
Yeah.
It's like the Matterhorn.
Dude,
It's
he
so-
was like,
That is a fucking iconic skull.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And
He looks like the queen of the aliens.
He's like, or at least an egg she's laid.
He's got a long head.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's got so many interesting, like, I mean, a phrenologist's dream is what it is.
Phrenologist's dream.
Continuing the great tradition of watching something that happened.
So this
before on
might
TV.
have been when this episode splits, because this is a recap where Riker is getting caught up on everything that happened, but so
okay.
is the audience. So this may have been where this part 2 started, was with Riker getting caught up on what's been going on.
As I recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, it doesn't the first part end when the special guest appears?
I think so.
At the very end.
Oh, okay. So should we wait until then? to break?
That's exactly 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Is right after that scene.
So then this must have just been, we've come back from commercial break. Let's remind people what's happened so far, in case you're just tuning in.
The guy who showed up in all the different outfits,
Yes.
is that Q?
That was
Yes.
Q.
Yeah.
Okay. Because he looks so different. I was like, it looks like him, but it doesn't. I just wanted to make sure.
He showed up on the bridge in all of those outfits and basically said, humanity has been savage and evil and horrible throughout its entire history. So I'm going to wipe out all of humanity unless you can prove to me that humanity has
So what is
bettered
he?
themselves.
You said he's godlike, but what is?
He's
there?
part of the Q
He's
continuum.
just this insanely powerful alien
Okay.
that can do anything it
he's
wants.
He's an
not
extra dimensional
humankind.
being that sort of has been
He
keeping
has all
it-
power over all time and space. Like, just
Okay.
It'd be like
just imagine God, but like kind of Old Testament-y, I'm a dick God.
Yeah.
He just likes to fuck with them.
He just likes to
Yeah.
fuck with them.
because
But
he
part of the
can.
context is, and I don't know if we established this, but like Enterprise, I mean, the Federation is now expanding its reach beyond sort of the the known territories and going
Sure.
out to like new areas. So that's kind of where that's why Farpoint is sort of like the outermost reach of the Federation, right? And then, so the idea of the whole show is that they're going
They're
out.
on explore. They're exploring strange new worlds. They're
Yeah.
seeking out new life and new civilizations. Speaking of which, in another progressive move, the intro has changed.
Oh.
So
no one has
on
gone
the old
before?
show, Erin, it used to be at the end he would say to boldly go where no man has gone before. In Next Generation, it's changed to where no one goes before because they didn't want to imply that women couldn't, go out into space.
They
But-
can go.
Although when they say
just
like
don't
that,
come back.
I know they mean human.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Looking at you,
Got it.
Tasha.
Yeah.
Oh, spoiler.
Yeah.
So Picard, to fuck with Riker and see if he really is as good as he supposedly is supposed to be, because Riker and Picard have never met.
Yeah.
But they're going to be captain and first officer. So as a test, Picard has ordered Riker to reattach the two parts of the ship without the computer's help by manual control, which is this very sort of technically difficult thing to do.
You're
So
right.
what they're showing off here is how much of a badass Riker is.
Right.
Because he's like, sure, I can attach the two parts without the computers.
Yeah.
No problemo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he does.
I mean, most of what he actually has to do is
just
Okay,
say
dock
things.
it.
Yeah, he basically just tells people
Yeah.
what to do.
He's like, watch your roll angle.
But you're still supposed to be impressed that he can do it.
And then at one point,
Even though everybody else is doing all the actual work.
and then
He's a good upper manager.
He's a good, solid middle manager.
and then at one point in the middle, he's like, dock it a little better.
He's like, 2 degrees to the left, please.
Nah.
You can see a little of his chest hair poking up out of the top of his.
He's got a good amount of it.
I never noticed that before. It's seeing it on the big screen.
You can really
Yeah.
see the
You
individual.
can really
hairs.
see the details.
Yeah.
Next time they cut to a close up of Riker, notice how you can see his chest hair poking
There's
up.
a lot of scenes like that because I've watched
Then
a lot of
zipping
these.
that thing up must have been a bitch.
See, look.
Yeah.
Look, look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is literally.
So now they're all
Bigfoot.
impressed, right? That was what they all like gave him the approving nod.
Yeah, like that.
Cool.
Like, oh, you actually do know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I guess we'll be okay working for you.
I sort of feel like there isn't an Uhura counterpart in this crew.
It's Wharf.
Wharf is the communications officer.
Yeah, but
use your racist talents,
Yeah.
man.
yeah.
He will later become chief of security, but
Yeah.
right now he's communications.
Was that the Klingon,
Klingon,
guy?
yeah.
The Klingon.
Wouldn't that be a phronologist's wet dream right
Yeah,
there? a
I'll
Klingon?
think of the
Oh
ridges.
my god.
Do you think those ridges? I always thought they were just like in the skin.
So now Picard is like
'Cause they
saying to
move.
Riker,
Ew.
he
He likes tea, huh?
Yeah.
he does. He
Earl Grey
famously
hot.
drinks tea Earl Grey hot. I actually started drinking tea because of Patrick Stewart saying
I
tea
do like Earl
hot.
Grey.
Yeah.
I do
It's
too.
a
I drink it all the
British
time.
I mean,
thing.
this was 87, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the new Picard, he also drinks Earl Grey.
He
So-
does, but he
and
drinks
he's carried
decaf
it.
now because
Do the
he's
British
79
still
years
drink
old.
more tea than coffee?
Oh,
I'd assume so.
I would imagine. Yeah,
Really?
I can correction corner it someday.
Yeah.
Let's just stay that they do.
That's what we do here.
Yeah. And then we
Declare
fix it.
things we don't actually
I mean, they
know.
still all have tea breaks at 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
Still called tea.
but,
It's
It's still
like,
called tea, but don't they
does
just do
tea
anything?
give them
now?
the jump in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Does that really get
Tea
it?
has a lot of caffeine in it.
I hear it has
actually.
more
Yeah.
caffeine than
Black tea,
coffee.
anyway.
Good tea, yeah.
Okay.
Need good
All right.
Yorkshire tea.
Just doesn't have the
Okay.
right taste.
I like tea over coffee because coffee makes me jittery, and coffee does not, and tea does not.
It's a better release.
yeah,
Caffeine
and it-
delivery
tea is-
system.
Tea is soothing. Like
Yeah. I don't want to.
coffee is not soothing. Coffee is like jagged.
I like that though. I kind of want to be like Jack.
Well, yeah, some people, and that's why
Edgy.
people drink coffee because
Yeah.
they like that feeling.
Yeah.
I don't like feeling all jittery.
Jesus,
like
I just
that.
want to like touch those bumps, all those bumps on his head. I think
So
he would
here's
let
where
me.
he's telling him he doesn't like kids.
I will drink coffee, but
Yeah.
I don't drink.
It's not
it
your
regularly.
preferred?
No, I drink tea most.
So, of all the characters that you've seen now, Erin, do you have a favorite so far?
FMK.
Well, we haven't really gotten much of Data yet. Let's wait until the end of the
Well, I
episode.
think-
Let's wait until the end of the pilot, and then we
Okay.
can, and then we'll get Aaron's ranking of the
I'm
characters.
just so
far.
curious.
in terms of fuckability, predominantly.
yeah. Well, a whole FMK,
Yeah.
sure.
So so Dr. Crusher is fucking awesome. We love Dr. Crusher.
Did you say she wears a lot of wigs?
yes.
Is that a wig?
I don't know. She does have red hair in real life, but
Okay.
I also know that that a lot of the time they were using wigs with her or extensions or whatever.
Now, these contacts that LeVar Burton is
Yeah.
wearing, did that cause him immense pain?
Well, most of the time you don't see
Yeah,
them.
you don't
because
get
most
to
of the
see
time
him.
he's got the banana clip on.
Yeah.
What they're talking about is the fact that he's been blind since he was born. Wearing the visor has all of these advantages. Like he can see ultraviolet light, and he can see radiation. He can see things beyond the
it's actually
human
better than
spectrum.
normal vision.
But the downside is that it's painful. So he sort of has a constant headache
Yeah.
from
Oh,
wearing the
that's
visor.
That's
too
a
bad.
bummer.
And she just said to him, what if we did, I could operate or maybe we could do something else. And he was like, no, because then
It would interfere.
it would
with
interfere
his-
with my job. And I don't,
Yeah.
I feel like this is like a my gym. You know what I mean? It's
look
like
how
a kid.
big
Yeah,
the bridge
huge.
is.
It's a big space, and look how he towers over the
compared
people.
to the old ship.
Yeah.
Like
Look how
this ship
ergo.
is, like so,
Look how fucking
it's
ergo
so
those chairs
ergo.
are, though. They're like
it looks
laying
like
down.
I've heard it described online as looking like a Hilton hotel lobby in space
Sure.
because it has a sort of beige-ish, inoffensive color scheme.
There
he is.
Yeah,
It's Dr. McCoy.
Whoa, they've really done up the old makeup.
Yeah.
on
Well,
him,
he's supposed to
though.
be 100 and something in this episode.
I think they could have
And, oh wait, get a drink because he's gonna have some spacism here.
He
in
is
a
going to
minute.
Yeah.
You can't have
about Wharf.
you can't have bones in an episode and not have some spacism.
Got to have some spacism. Yeah, he's 137 years old.
I think they could have done without the makeup, and it still would have looked 137.
No,
but more
he
real.
didn't look. We just saw Star Trek 4. He didn't look 137.
I don't know. Every time
in
he
that
gets on the
movie.
screen, I'm like,
Right now or back then?
I'm less. It's soft.
See, you sound like
Yeah.
he just said. You sound like a
just has a lot
Vulcan.
of bags
Yeah.
under his eyes.
He's like, you don't have pointed ears, but you sound like a dumbass Vulcan.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Almost as bad. I thought they'd already like patched things up.
This is actually a very sweet little scene. They kept the fact that he was in this episode a secret because they wanted it to be a surprise for the fans.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried to get Leonard Nimoy for it, but
I like that he has an old
they
man
couldn't-
sweater on.
the negotiations fell through.
He was in a I don't like Star Trek moment in his life.
Yeah,
It just doesn't look like
Who
bones
was?
to me.
Leonard Nimoy.
Leonard Nimoy, you know, he
None of
goes.
that. They're joking. They don't know that.
They're making things up.
They're just making shit up now.
That-
So
that is
that's where it goes to commercial.
Yeah, so let's pause it there.
46:57.
46 minutes and 57
Yay.
seconds.
Wow. That takes me back.
There's 44:15 left.
Perfect.
Chicken vindaloo.
And
Chicken
we're gonna eat some chicken
masala.
vindaloo.
Yeah.
We're gonna put on some Band-Aid.
Does
and we're
anybody
gonna-
have any? You want? Is there a corrections corner?
I
you
can
want?
do it. I can do
You
it.
do it next.
week.
All right.
Next week.
Aloo gopi.
Oh wait,
Aaron.
should we
Right now.
rate, review, subscribe?
Oh yeah, I forgot to do my spiel.
Oh, go for it.
Thank you so much for listening to Warped. Please go to Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast to rate, review, and subscribe. I really mean it. I was thinking about this the other day. Like, we have so few. I know we don't have a
Ratings.
ton of listeners, but we do have
Reviews,
some.
Yeah.
And we have so few ratings and reviews.
Please.
So if you're listening to this, just go and click 5 stars.
We
and,
will suck your dick.
And
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Whoa, whoa.
Some,
This went dark
Wait.
fast.
speak
Yeah.
for yourself, man.
Min will suck your
Yeah.
Finn apparently will suck your dick.
me
5 stars.
too will suck your
that,
dick.
that has
for a
nothing to do
5-star
with the
review.
show.
Anyway,
That has
I was
nothing
trying
do
to
with
be
the show.
sincere,
Yeah.
and you really fucked it up.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I mean,
I
that's
was
kind
trying to deliver like a sincere entreaty to
I'm
people
sorry.
who might be listening to this
That's kind
to
of
do us a small
I think Min's
favor.
sincere.
Min, I just rated it 5
that's kind of the tagline of this.
So, I mean, we could do it
Behind the
after
alley.
or before the Vindaloo. I just wanted you to know. I
I think
just rated
during.
it.
I think that's the other tagline of this show, Matt. Is I tried to do something sincere and you all fucked it up.
I want that on my gravestone.
Yeah, I tried. Yeah, I basically tried to do something interesting and sincere, and I was surrounded
It will
by a
only
bunch
take
of clowns.
it will only take 30 seconds of your time, but it actually makes a huge difference in
To
terms
us.
of
So
how the
review.
algorithms work. So please,
Please do.
And also
Please go do
special
that.
thanks to
Mr.
our away
Data
team
likes
members.
the algorithm.
yes, who are our away team?
I think it's just Dax right now. Dax Shell, thank you.
Thanks,
Oh my
Dax.
God, what a guy!
Yep.
He is a great guy.
Yep.
Yep.
And
You can
Min
follow us
will,
on-
Let's not go into it.
all right, well,
You can follow us
It's an
on
option.
Instagram at Warped the Podcast.
Yep.
On Twitter at Warped Trek. You can follow me on Twitter at Host Warped. You can follow Minh and learn about our D&D and Call of Cthulhu podcasts at at Wet Maynard. You can go to patreon.com/warp to give us money and become a subscriber and have access to bonus
So
content
much
and
bonus
additional
content.
episodes. Until next week. Oh, wait, we did that part already.
Let's do it again. Let's do
We're
it again.
gonna
I love the way you do it.
So next week we'll be back for part 2 of Encounter at Farpoint. Unless anybody has anything else to add, my name is Sean.
My name is Matt.
I'm Jake.
Philippe.
Aaron.
And I'm in with.
Good night, everybody.
Yes! We've done this before.
Woo!